Well, thanks for having me. Wow, what a great turnout. This is good. So I just give you a little background. I'm celebrating two 40s this year. My first 40 is I've been married 40 years this week, and I consider that an accomplishment, or at least my wife does. And this is my 40th year doing retirement planning with my clients. So I went to the University of Washington and got my degree in finance, and I've been doing retirement planning my whole life. So this is fun. Now we have 1 hour to cover a lot of material. So what I'm going to do is focus on the principles of retirement planning, which doesn't give you a lot of specifics, but we can do specific kinds of things with you after if you can stay. And if not, my business cards are here. You can certainly email me. I welcome you to call me, and I'll be glad to discuss any of the things we talk about today. How many of you are within 20 years of retirement? Okay, that helps me know my audience. How many of you are under 30? Yeah, so you could, bless you. I wish more people were under 30 in this room, because those are the guys that can really make a difference if they start their planning early. How many of you wish you had done your retirement plan a lot sooner than you have? Yeah, all the truth hands come up. Yeah, so that's good. So there are different stages in retirement planning, and I'll start moving this. This is kind of where we're going to talk about getting started. There are only 3 or 4 of you here, so I might skip through that pretty quick. And then prime time, and then, of course, the finish line and some action thoughts. So retirement plan involves fitting together many puzzle pieces provided an ideal situation. How many of you have smartphones? Oh, good. All right. So one of the first things I'm going to give you, this is a freebie, but if you don't know where your money's going, you probably won't have the money you need when you need it. And so one of the things that I recommend you do is have a money manager on your smartphone, and they're free. And there are several of them, but the one I use is called mint.com. I'll give you that as a starting point. It's a great way for you. It ties to your credit card or your debit card, and it automatically categorizes everything you spend on those cards. So it links your card, tracks what your spending is. The only thing you have to put in is your checks, what you wrote a check to. So it categorizes, and it helps you to know where and you can create budgets. And that's one of the most important things in preparing for retirement, is to know how you're spending and where your spending is. Some of you do that by hand and spreadsheets and so forth, but that program is really good. There are others. Lemon Wallet is another one. There's several others that are really good, and they're free. So look for a smart application that will help you budget. And you can carry it. I have mine on my side all the time. I use it every day. And so mint.com. M-I-N-T. Just like mint, like. Yeah, mint is like money. Green. Yeah, it's good. You guys are good. And the other one is Lemon Wallet? Lemon Wallet's another good one that complements that. And there are many others. Mint's probably been around the longest, and I think they've developed their program well, and it's pretty easy to use. So the most important thing I can say to you in your 20s and 30s, without spending too much time on this, is the most important thing you can say is, am I saving anything at all? And I always tell all my 20 and 30-year-olds, I have a daughter who's turning 24 this year, and the first thing I teach my kids is save. And the rule of thumb is, for every dollar that you earn, put 10 cents away. If you just do that rule of thumb, you'll be amazed what a difference that'll make in your life. And so you can do that lots of ways. If you can do it payroll deduction, it's usually the best way. Most of you, how many of you are taking money out of your paycheck now towards your retirement? Okay, should be everybody. So that's good. So establish a savings pattern. If you start early and you get in the habit of doing it, it'll stay with you. If you're older and you haven't done it, it's not too late. You still need to do it, so remember that. Your employer retirement plan is really important. How many of you are on PERS 3? How many on 2? You were smart. Right? How about PERS 3? You feel like you missed out? We don't know yet. We don't know yet, do we? It'll be interesting to see how that comes out. How many are PERS 1? Whoa. I'll divorce my wife and I'll marry you. You have really good. How many of you are in the deferred comp program? Oh wow, great, wonderful. Okay, I'm done. So those are the things that are available to you through your employer, and those are the first place you want to use is take advantage of the plans you have. Make sure that you understand how they work. Most important thing for those of you who have defined benefit plan, how many of you have more than one defined benefit plan? There's some of you are smart. All of you have more than one defined benefit plan. Did you know that? What's your biggest defined benefit plan? Social Security. How many of you have Social Security? That's a defined benefit plan. You don't get a lump sum amount of money. You get a benefit for life, right? So that's a defined benefit plan. And then you have one through your employer, right? So that's called a defined benefit plan. So you all have at least two. How many of you are married? How many of your spouses have retirement plans? Okay, so there could be a whole lot of retirement plans in your life. And the question then becomes, which one do I use and how? Is that right? And how you design that. That's kind of where we're going. But the most important first step for the young people is get it in. Just get it in. Get it started. It's really important. And establish it through your employer because it's tax deductible. And that's important. The advantage of having money tax sheltered is far greater than trying to save the money outside of a tax shelter. And I don't have time today to show you the numbers, but it's overwhelming. And the younger you are, the better it is. So tax shelter is really an advantage. The greater your tax bracket, the better it is. So the magic of compounding. The magic of compounding is really simple. If I took a 20-year-old, and instead of giving you numbers, I'll just give you how it works. If I took a 20-year-old and I saved $1,000 a month between 20 and 30, are you listening? Okay, and then I took a 30-year-old and I saved from 30 to age 65. That's 35 years, right? Who would have more money? The 20-year-old only saving 10 years would have more money than the 30-year-old saving 35. So what's the most important ingredient in calculating your retirement? Is it the rate of return or is it time? So for those of you who think you can delay and that later on you can solve the problem, it doesn't work that way. So those of you under 30, if you save money now, there's no dollar you're going to save that will do more for you than the money you're saving today. So those of you who are over 30, it still works to do it earlier, okay? But that just kind of dramatically points out how important time is. It's more important than the rate of return. That's the principle behind the magic of compounding time. Okay, so let me move on. That's the illustration in numbers. That illustration I just gave you would be 168,000 versus 147,000.